So looking at the film last night, I thought we did some good things, but I did think we did some poor things offensively and got a little stagnant. We have to play better, but we're looking forward to it. I mean, what a great opportunity on Sunday afternoon, CBS, and against the #1 team in the nation in a place that I respect and value. And coaches are friends, and yet it won't be for 2 hours. So it'll be I think, a good game. Last time we played, I thought we played pretty well. We didn't guard the big guy like we maybe should have, and yet I think it was Fletcher Lawyer at the last 5 minutes of the game that beat us, not the big guy. He's going to get what he gets. But Fletcher, we kept him in track most of the game, along with Smith. In the last 5 minutes, he did some great things, and give him credit. We didn't guard it as well, so hopefully we'll do a better job of that. Questions?
What did you learn from the first time around that can help you? I mean, he's such a lover.
Yeah, we're going to look at a couple different things and ways to cover them, but try to get a little more diversity in our covering of him. We're going to try to change it up a little bit, but for the most part, they don't hide what they do. When you got a guy like that, you couldn't hide him anyway. And yet, what Purdue has done a great job of is, I think it's the best team in the nation. And I think Matt has done as good a job as any coach I've ever seen getting guys to play their roles. He's got some guys that are good players taking 2 shots a game. He's gotten guys to play their roles, and they know that at the end of the shot clock or anywhere else, they can just throw it somewhere near the block, and he's going to catch it. Now, what he does with it, is usually pretty positive. And then to make matters worse, he's a good free throw shooter. So you can't just hack a shack him. And so I learned that he got better from last year. He's as big as he was last year, and yet, because of the way they play their roles, they haven't blown people out in that. They just grind you, don't make a lot of mistakes. It's a great team to look at and say, you know what, you get people that fit in, play their roles, and good things can happen, and that's what he's done.
So when you come within a point, though, it's not like, I'm guessing you want to change all that much.
No, like I said, that was what I was joking about the other day. You can double people and give up threes, and 3s for 2s. I just say we got to mix it up a little bit more. But no, I didn't mind what we did. I think we had to cover a little better at the end, but I thought we did a pretty good job against a good team. And how much Malik will be able to play. He played last night. A little longer than I thought he would, but he won't practice today now, and he feels more than decent. He's going to be a little sore, but he's feeling pretty good. But sometimes what happens, as we know, it happened with Jaden, it happened with him the first time. You come back, and that game you're really good, and then the next couple of games you're kind of reacclimating. So I don't know what'll happen. Malik's got a little more experience, but he'll help us too, because we didn't have him last time. How much? I don't know.
I was going to ask you about the reintegration factor, something we've always talked about, getting a guy back from injury. With Malik, because he's so versatile, is there a difference with that? Because it seemed like it was pretty seamless.
Yeah, it did seem seamless for one night, but like Jaden, it's taken some time, but Jaden is now really coming on, both offensively and defensively, like we thought he could. But with Malik, a little older, a little more experienced, a little more versatile, I think you're right. I think he'll handle it as well as anybody. But after that first game he had, was it against Michigan or whoever he played, and then didn't play quite the same the next couple, but people get to know him too, and yet we're trying to integrate him into our offense at a couple different positions, and that's a little adventurous in itself.
He played a big factor defensively, though, it seemed like. You guys held that team scored like nearly 80 to 60 something. It seemed like he was all over the front.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he did a good job on Murray. AJ did a good job on Murray, and we didn't do much on Ulyss. So you're always giving up something, and like I thought we did a great job against Purdue last time, and then Fletcher really showed why he's one of the best freshmen in this league because he did a hell of a job late and found a way to make a couple baskets and get to the free throw line. Ulyss last night, we gave up some things to get something else, and that's what it usually is. Not many people are good enough to just stop everybody. But I thought we did do a good job, and I thought having him around is just a calming effect because he makes up for some mistakes for other people too.
I don't know if there's a more respectful rivalry in the conference than you and Purdue, and you and Matt goes back to Judd.
Yeah,
I guess
Gene.
it started with Judd and Gene, right?
Oh yeah, the Judd and Gene show. Yeah, that's. Still remember Clem Haskin named his two ostriches Judd and Gene, on his farm. So those guys, that is funny, but it is true. I hate to say it. I saw a picture of him. Yeah, it is true. He still got him, I think, down in Kentucky. But there's been great respect. I mean, Bruce Weber's been one of my better friends. He was there for 20 years. Matt, we recruited Matt, and Matt's done a good job there. We're on some boards together. So I'd say it is a great respected rivalry, and we've kind of done it similar ways. I don't have a monster like he's got, but I mean, the kind of players we recruit and what we get and what we do, it's been kind of similar. And yet this year, I mean, what are they, 20-1 or 19-1, something like that. He's done a hell of a job. I mean, that's a little bit of a surprise team, but again, I think he's the best I've seen at defining roles and getting guys to play them. Now, when you're winning, it's always easier, but he's won a lot of close games, and he's done a hell of a job since he's been there, to be honest.
Thomas, with AJ, the way we've seen him play this year, how well he's played, it feels like last night was the first time we've seen him in a while struggle the way he has, missing shots, the turnovers. Obviously, the free throws, I think, are bothering him the last few times. But what are your discussions with him now that he's had one of these games where it...
Yeah, had a long one with him this morning, to be honest with you, early. And, I just think that he's got to get back to realizing who he is and what he is. And sometimes, like I didn't like the three he took with 20 seconds in the shot clock after we get the rebound, 3 minutes left. He had made one. You don't go on whether you made one is, like I tried to tell him, if we were in a huddle, we're designing the last shot, we needed a three, probably wouldn't go there. And that's, he's got to look at those things and figure out what he can do and what he can't do. And, I worry with all of them, are they wearing down a little bit from this stretch, because he and Joey and Tyson had to play a lot of minutes, and he just didn't seem to have the zip he had. So hopefully it'll be better today. We had a long talk this morning. He's worked very hard on his free throw shooting. He still shoots them very well. And I thought he let that drag him down a little bit on the last couple games. But that doesn't worry me because I see him shoot him every day, and he's shooting the ball very well from the free throw line. But he's got to realize that you're the head of our team and running our team. As I say, the head dies, the body does, and the head wasn't as solid, and the body wasn't as solid last night.
I know this was a short turnaround with you Purdue before, and after that, they're a little bit more spaced out, and you got the league back. Are you hoping? I know you just said you're worried about AJ being a little worn down. Are you hoping these guys can get a little bit more energized or a little bit more rest?
Yeah, exactly. I think if you get, AJ was, Malik was playing 25 to 30 minutes. That's what we penciled him in as. So you could divide up 3 different guys and give them 5 less minutes, and that would make a huge difference for an AJ, for a Tyson, for a Joey. That would really help us in that respect, but then you still got to work that guy in too. So it's going to still be a work in progress, but what a great opportunity we have to go down there and play the number one, and a team that has earned the number one ranking. They played a good schedule, they've beaten some good people, and they've maintained this consistency. So it'll be a great test that I'm looking forward to.
Do you address the slow starts? Because if it happens in this building, you could be over by halftime. Do you address that?
Yeah, it could be. But Illinois, we had a slow start, and that was tough. You know, Indiana, we had a good start. I mean, I don't know, we seem to have slower starts at home than on the road, and our fans have been unbelievable. But, you know, that's some of the things I talked to AJ about too. You know, I think some of our shot selection early, the Purdue game last time, remember, he had about, I don't know, he was having an out-of-body experience is what I called it, you know, and those first 5 minutes, and we were down 20-something, 11 or something, whatever it was, and, you know, disappointing, but happy about the strong in-betweens, and yet I think we've worn down a little bit at the end, both Illinois and Indiana, so hopefully now, we got an extra day last week, we got to get Guy back that can get some minutes, hopefully this will help us in that respect.
How do you feel this team's been rebounding? I mean, you saw Joey and Monty last night kind of help. It seemed like Jaden as well starting to.
Jaden is definitely coming to his own now a little bit. You know, he's playing way better defensively. He has been more active. Offensively, he can get a shot for himself. He's shooting the ball pretty well. You know, I think you're seeing exactly what I said. It took a month, you know, to come back, and now the last couple of weeks he's been better. I'm hoping it doesn't take that long from Malik, but we're not a great rebounding team, but we are getting to be better. And you know, with the job we did against Rutgers, the job we did, you know, even last night, Iowa came in a very good rebounding team. So, you know, Purdue, I think we out-rebounded by one last time, but they're, you know, they got one guy that can rebound, and First has done a great job for them. And Gillis is, you know, they got two power forwards that play 20 minutes each. And last time, you know, we just had Joey, so, you know, Malik will be able to help there some too. And we think now we can play two bigs together against a team like that some. So we think we're a little better than we were back then, not that long ago. We'll see what happens.
When you get Malik back, and I guess like you did last night, you're at that half point of the Big Ten season, does it make you sort of wonder about maybe what could have been if you had a full team, and wonder about what could be when you guys went?
Yeah, you know, but a lot of guys are, you know, I mean, there's still a lot of basketball left, and there could be a lot of injuries left. You know, Michigan had a, you know, injury in the Jet. I think he's one of the best freshmen in the league. Some people haven't had any injuries yet. You know, are they going to get some? You know, some people are going to go through this tougher schedule where they're playing more games in a shorter period of time. It's just been a strange year. Sure, I look at that. I think there's some games that we could have, should have won. You know, if we would have had those two guys and playing together and had a rotation. But everybody goes through, I mean, I said Nebraska's going through some serious injuries right now. Knock on wood, that hasn't happened to us yet. But where they're year-ending injuries. But you know what, I'm just happy where we are. I don't think we're where we're going to be. But you have to win enough games to be in the hunt for things, you know, and that's what this period of time is now. We can't say, well, we got to wait till Malik comes back. Got to win some games. You got to start getting better as a team, and you get into February, which we're right around the corner, and it gets where things got to start getting a little more consistent. Would be a good word.
Where does Mackey rank as a place that you? I mean, you've had different buildings that have been different, problematic at different points of your career, largely based on the teams you're facing or bringing into there. But I'm just wondering, like, Mackey seems like a place where you can take a good team and still can get away from you by 20 or 30 sometimes. Yeah.
You know, you know, it's the same size as ours, except that they're all bleachers, so it's in a smaller area. And I mean, I will say this: our fans have been so good this year that I think we can go with anybody. But there, you know, it's a religion in the state of Indiana. You know, football at Indiana and Purdue is getting better, but it's never been the thing. It's, you know, where Michigan State football is king, and there everything goes to basketball, and so they have, you know, very educated fans and fans that really support them, and it's a tough place to play because of how close the fans are to you. You guys have all been there, but the advantage of playing in the venues we've played in, and the advantage, you know, we've been to Illinois, we've been to Indiana. Those are no easy places to play either. So I think we're prepared for it, but tomorrow we'll bring a little crowd noise in and see if we can simulate. Maybe I'll have Fred dress up like Purdue Pete or whatever his name is, the Boilermaker, and walk in there and scare us. So we'll all be ready to go.
I wouldn't have to dress up to scare them.
Good point. You said it, not me.
Before I get to my question, you might want to know that apparently some people, their watches go off like during your games. The decibel's so high it tells them to leave because it's so loud in there. But anyway,
In where?
It alerts
Here?
them. Yeah, like during your games, the last couple of games we've had.
I gotta buy one of them watches. That fires me up. That's good, man. Thank God.
When Cassius was on the team, obviously, when you were in a tight situation, you could really count on him when you needed a basket or something. How much has Tyson kind of developed into that guy, or do you see that? Are you seeing that from him?
I am seeing that from him because he can get a shot for himself. If we got a mismatch, he can attack it. He's a good free throw shooter. He can both penetrate and score from the three. You know, Cassius had something that not many players have, but one thing that Tyson has, he has that athletic ability that he can almost get a shot on anybody. So he is maturing into that position, and that would be great for us because we don't just get to throw it in and have, you know, a dominance inside. Like maybe even we had some with Xavier, like Purdue has or Indiana has, but I like my team. I like the way they are, and I like the fact that Tyson is coming around in that respect.
Did you ever get an explanation of this technical?
No, they said, well, both guys were mouthing off to each other. And I said, well, if they weren't mouthing off to you, who cares, you know? I mean, that was a new one, you know? I'd be like two coaches going at it. We're not yelling at the refs, we're yelling at each coach. Why would you get a technical? It doesn't make sense. But I don't know.
The more interesting one was the Hauser.
Yeah, that was weird too, man.
Have you ever seen stoppage in play where there wasn't anything called?
Yeah, you know, don't condemn that. I think more of that should be done. In other words, if they see something, instead of like one game we had this year, double technical for what I thought was no reason. Why get a foul on somebody? Why do this and that? The older officials would have said, hey, you come here, you come here. Now you're not allowed to grab them because it's illegal. But I mean, would you please come over here? Would you please come over here? And hey guys, let's not, next time I'm gonna call something. I love that. You know, I think that's preventative management instead of crisis management.
You mentioned Pierre needing more out of him. How much can he give you another dimension to this team?
Oh, a big dimension. Pierre give us big dimension. Listen, whether you think so or not, or you think I'm kidding you, Pierre Brooks could be very valuable to this team. He can shoot it as good as anybody I got. He's got strength. You know, some of it is coaches put players in a position that isn't good, and sometimes players put coaches in a position that isn't good. It's probably been a little bit of both, and we're working through it. He had a good week of practice, but Pierre Brooks still very valuable to us, if you ask me. I mean, I think he could bring something that few can. He can get a shot off on anybody, and he can really shoot it. He's been struggling to shoot it lately, but he can shoot.
Did you see more aggressive to you last night?
Yeah, last night we actually did. We told him that exact same thing. He had 2 good days of practice. He had better. I think what happens is, especially when you're a homegrown guy, too many people get in your melon. And, you know, you got to clear that thing. You got to clear your head, and you got to focus in on the job, because outside people have no clue what goes on in here, and yet the inside people do have a clue until they hear from all the outside people, and then it messes with their, you know. And I think he's got too many things going on, and he just got to relax and figure out that there's some things I needed to do I didn't do, and there's some things I can do that I will do, and you put those two together, and you know, maybe we get everybody on the same page here as we get into the second half of the season.
With Malik, you can only manage his minutes, right? You can't tell him to be careful out there. When he went up that dunk the other day, I'm thinking, well, he's gonna land, what's gonna happen? He has to go all
Yeah, that's where I've changed, Fred. Glass was half full. I said, go for it, Malik. Didn't even bother me. The old me would have said, oh, geez, what is it? No, we will manage his minutes, Lou. Your vocabulary, we'll check his pitch count a little bit, you know, but we're not going to we're not gonna tell him, don't play hard and don't do this and don't do that. He was really good last night, really good in a lot of ways, and huddles, halftime, and I thought on the court.
Time for one or two more.
Marty had a solid game last night. He's been solid throughout the year at times. Against a team like Purdue with a guy like Edie, he's going to need to get on top of his game. What are you looking for him to develop to that next level, I guess?
You know, Marty did, and in fact, he did some really good things last night. And yet, there was sometimes he didn't do some really good things. You know, we just he too's got to get some confidence and some consistency. But a first double was a good thing. Guarding Edie, we're asking him to, you know, I don't know what it would be that I would compare it to, you know, because you're giving away 6-7 inches, you're giving away 60, 70 pounds, and you got to do the things you can do. What we got to do is we got to put him in some ball screens, and we got to get him moving a little bit more. So hopefully we get Edie, although they keep him in there pretty close. But you know, just when people were ready to give up on Marty, as we all know in the world of tweets, you know, he has a good game, and I think he's got to get more consistent. We know that, he knows that, but in this game, stay out of foul trouble would be a big thing.
You talked a lot about Malik, but there was a moment in the second half where before free throw, it seemed like he had a huddle on the floor. Is that something that just a senior can do that doesn't show up in the box score or anything?
I don't know if just a senior can do it. I'm trying to get AJ to do more of that, but that senior did do it, you know. And I would like to see Joey do a little more of that. I'd like to see Malik do it. I'd like to see AJ do a little more of that. That's a valuable part of being a good player and a good teammate too. And I did see when Malik did that, and that's some of the things we've been missing, you know. And so hopefully Malik will keep growing if we can keep him healthy, and we'll get him healthy. It's just how fast we can get him there.
Anything else?
All right, gang, those of you are coming, I'll see you down there. Those of you that are not, have a good weekend. Behave yourself. Sure. I'm getting